Hi, it's so nice that you're here to quickly get brainted with me. I'm your host, Laura, and welcome to my Mindful Storytelling podcast.
Hi, and welcome to another Quickly Get Brainted episode with me. Today's topic is really intriguing, especially for me. It's about dysfunctional breathing. I sure hadn't heard of it. Maybe you did. You can let me know in the comment sections. So, I listened to a podcast with Dr. Giulia Enders, and that one sure inspired me. I will link everything below. So, yes, Dr. Giulia Enders. Who is she? She is a German scientist and an author, and best known for her bestseller, Gut, the inside story of our body's most underrated organ. Recently, she wrote a new book about the whole body. She took her time for that, and it took her 5 whole years. It's really, really interesting. Check it out if you're interested in any way of the body. I think this will change your perspective, how to look at it, and how to get more comfortable with your body. I will leave the links below as well. So, who is she again? Well, she has this way of making science fun and human. In one podcast, she shared something very relatable, being introverted, super introverted. And she's getting super nervous in situations like going to the airport or being at the airport. And then suddenly her hands, get this very known feeling where her hands turn icy cold. I bet you know that feeling as well. So she explained that this is often linked to dysfunctional breathing. And what does dysfunctional breathing actually mean? It's when the way you breathe doesn't match what your body really needs. What does this mean? For example, when you're anxious, as you maybe know the feeling, you might start breathing too fast or too shallow. So that shifts the balance in your blood, causing what's called respiratory alkalosis. I don't know if I said that right in the right way, but it's basically when your blood becomes a bit too alkaline because you're blowing off too much CO2. And then bam, your blood vessel constrict, circulation changes, and you get cold hands and feet. I never looked at this so scientifically. I was just like, okay, I'm nervous, so that's the reason why I'm getting cold hands. But I think it's always very nice to have a word what's going on in your body. And this is what she really brings to life in her books. There was an old show, I think from the 80s or 90s, it's maybe from the 60s, 70s, I don't know. And with these little mascots explaining how the inner body functions. And I think it's so sweet and so cute that you have this very, very harmonic and very sweet relation with your inner self, quite literally. Yeah, I think that helps sometimes. But back to the fascinating topic. So it's not just a word, it's a whole thing that's going on in your body. Bad circulation, of course, you can have that too. It's very linked to the nervous system, right? It is linked. And of course, some people naturally have poor circulation, like more. But what Giulia pointed out is really empowering because if it's caused by dysfunctional breathing, if it's, in that moment, it's just that, you know your body best. So you can actually change it in minutes in that case. So your breath is like a little steering wheel for your nervous system. Of course, we know that. So if we slow it down, we deepen it, we can shift it from fight or flight in a nervous situation, for example, back into rest and digest. That's what it's called. And this effect will warm you up inside. So, okay, let me show you an example how to fix this or how somebody can fix this in the very moment. So first, of course, this is a great question. It's not foolproof, but I tried it and somehow it helps and I have really bad circulation. So I think everything is connected to the mind. But of course, to train it and to get monk-like with your body is really hard. So here are a few practical ones. All right, what do we know? So we know box breathing, right? So it's inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold it for 4. Even Chris Hemsworth did this when he was on a show. It's called Host Ones, where they're eating very, very spicy food, so super spicy. And then he used his box breathings. Another one, physiological size. So, you saw how just naturally, but in this case, you do it very aware. So 2 quick inhales through the nose. This is really important. Through the nose flows just more. And followed by a long exhale through the mouth. This was shown in Stanford studies to calm the nervous system fast. So I think this is the most common one we can get here. Then another one, of course, if you maybe suffer a little bit from panic attacks also, I use this very often, is hand on heart breathing. It just connects you in a different way. This is a yoga technique as well. I think it's going to help because you simply put your hand on your chest and breathe slowly into the space. And this should signal safety to your body. And if you do this quite a few times, you will feel this, if this doesn't make you nervous, of course, you feel your blood rushing. And then you can breathe into the areas where you have tension or where the tension is caused because of coldness. And I think this maybe can help you. Just because of the scientific fact of dysfunctional breathing, at the end, I'm not telling you anything very new, just a new perspective to look at things. And of course, a big shout out to Giulia Enders. And here's a fun fact. Controlled breathing has been shown to influence your vagus nerve, which is like the super highway between your brain and your body. Stimulating, it lowers stress and even improves digestion. And this is just one of the few definitions of what breathing can do. I'm searching for the right breathing technique myself. So this is just, as I said, a little push maybe into a new direction, how to look at this. All right, this was very practical. I'm really curious if you have personally experienced this and if you heard about this word from the scientific community. Before we wrap it up, I just want to point out why I think this topic is really important for everyone. I think breathing is really universal. And if you think about it, we do it 20,000 times a day. And most of us do it unconsciously. Even how you breathe in and breathe out and what for example, your tummy does is really, really important to think about it because there are dysfunctional breathing habits that I have. For example, I breathe in wrong. It's weird, I know, but I will talk about this maybe in another episode, how to do it correctly and how your stomach and your whole body should move while you're breathing in. And if you learned this, it's just going to get an atomic habit in seconds. And it's going to help you a lot to really relax and let go of tension. Dysfunctional breathing, can fuel anxiety, insomnia, and even chronic stress. So if you know that now, I think learning to breathe with awareness is just not about warm hands anymore. It's about reclaiming calm in a noisy world. So have this closing reflection. Next time your hands turn icy or your thoughts race, I want to suggest checking with your breath in that very moment. I often forget it, so that's why I'm here. I'm just reminding you friendly. So Joneses breathe to survive, breathe to thrive. I would love to hear from you. And when was the last time you noticed your breath changing in your state of mind? I'm going to leave you with that question here. And I hope to hear from you soon in the comment sections or through social media. And yes, have a wonderful evening or a day, and goodbye.